Okay, so we have a brand new week and we have a brand new unit, very interesting unit where so many things are going to happen. It is just the continuation of the narration of the creative process of Brahma is going on. So last week we saw that how Brahma he was trying to create, and then he created so many wonderful personalities. And finally, from his body, Manu and Shatarupa, they came out and they were planning to increase the population by procreation, sexual procreation. So now this chapter, it starts from that point where Vidra is putting forward the question that how did Manu do this? And then that leads to various wonderful narrations, including the appearance of Rahadev, appearance of Demon Hiranyaksha, and then the cursing of the Jaya Vijaya. So many different things happen. Okay, it takes us through so many different, very significant events in the cosmic history. So today we are going to see the first chapter, which is the appearance of Rahadev. We have, I think, 7 chapters here. We will see how best to cover. Hopefully by Krishna's mercy, something we can do. Sri Sukha Uvacha Nisamya Vacham Vadato Mune Punyatmanam Nrupa Punyatamam Nrupa Bhuya Prapacha Kauravyo Vasudeva Katartha Adhitaha. Okay, please read translations. We will read translations one by one. Please start from
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from the sage Maitreya, Vidura inquired further on the topics of the Supreme Personality Godhead, which he adored to hear.
Okay, next.
Vidura said, O great sage, what did Swayambhuva, the dear son of Brahma, do after obtaining his very loving wife?
Yeah, so very logical question. He had his wife, then what did they both do? This is the question. Okay, next please read.
O best of the virtues, the original king of the king, Manu, was a great devotee of the personality of Godhead, Hari, and thus it is worth hearing of his sublime character and activities. Please describe them. I am very eager to hear.
So, because they are connected, his activities are connected to personality of Godhead, and he is a great devotee, then his activities are worth hearing. Otherwise, activities are not worth hearing, because there are so many people who are great. Their activities are not explained in Bhagavatam. They are the only those who are great devotees of the Lord, their activities are explained in Bhagavatam. Okay, please read.
Persons who hear from a spiritual master with great labor and for a long time must hear from the mouth of pure devotee about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their heart of the lotus feet of personality of Godhead, who awards him devotees' liberation.
So, we should not only hear about the Lord, we should also hear about the pure devotees.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura because Vidura was very meek and gentle. The great sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's word, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak.
Yeah, so there is glorification of Vidura also, because Vidura's eagerness is actually expanding this whole pastime and narration. So therefore, Vidura is glorious. Okay, so Maitreya speaks. Please speak.
The sage Maitreya said to Vidura, after his appearance, Manu, the father of mankind, along with his wife, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom, Brahma, with obeisances and folded hands.
Okay, next.
You are the father of all living entities and the source of their subsistence, because they are all born of you. Please order us how we may be able to render service unto you.
O worshipful ones, please give us your directions for the executing of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for fame in this life and the progress in next.
Yeah, so when the authority is bona fide, then the follower naturally he acquires fame in this life and progress to next life. This is true to all of us because we are following bona fide authority, this Prabhupada. So, to greater extent or lesser extent, all of us are famous. We are all famous personalities. People know us as devotees. Suppose if we have no connection to ISKCON, nobody will know us. We will be like another dog running in the street. We will also be running. But because we are connected to Srila Prabhupada's movement, then we are known as devotees, then we get some respect, we get some fame, and hopefully we are also making progress towards next life. So this is true to any follower of any bona fide authority. When the authority is bona fide, simply by the glory of following a bona fide authority, then one becomes famous in this life and then one making progress towards next life. Okay, please read.
Lord Brahma said, "My dear son, O Lord of the world, I am very pleased with you, and I desire all blessing for both you and your wife. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with your heart for my instructions."
O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in a relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limit of envy and who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it for his full satisfaction.
Yeah,
Capacity.
So the same thing applies to the spiritual master and disciple also. That when the spiritual master gives some order, then the disciple should accept that with great delight and execute it to its full capacity, because the spiritual master's order is the tool of deliverance for the disciple. Okay, please read.
Since you are my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife. Rule the world in pursuance of the principle of devotional service unto the Supreme Personality Godhead, and thus worship the Lord by performance of yajna.
So he got nice order. Some of this order we also have by performance of Sankirtana Yajna. Our spiritual master has asked us to worship the Lord. Of course, he has not given us the order to increase the population. But the second order is applicable to us also. Okay. Next, please read.
Lord King, if you can give proper protection to the living beings in the material world, that will be the best service to you. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly the master of the senses will be very pleased with you.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Janardana, all Lord Krishna is the form to accept all the result of sacrifice. If he is not satisfied, then one's labor for advancement is futile. He is the ultimate self, and therefore one who does not satisfy him certainly neglect his own interest.
So why one should satisfy the Supreme Personality of God? Okay. Next.
Sri Manu said, "O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me."
So he wanted a place. That's logical. Okay. Next.
O Master of the demigods, please attempt to lift the earth, which is merged in the water, the great water, because it is the dwelling place for all living entities. It can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. Sorry, Prabhuji. So the earth was already in the water?
Yeah, it was already merged in the water.
So already Hiranyaksha has come?
No, this time Hiranyaksha has not come. You just go through this chapter, you will find that Varaha comes twice. Okay.
The Brahma and other talk is like finished, or he is talking to the God directly?
Maitreya says.
No, Brahma and Manu, they both are talking to each other. They both are talking to each other. So Brahma said that, so Manu asked Brahma, please give me your order. Then Brahma said, okay, this is very good. You have a nice mood. So he gave him 2 orders. What is that?
Progeny.
One is that he filled the world with progeny, and then perform yajna to satisfy the
Lord.
Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. So then Manu said, yes, this is a very nice order, I will follow, but give me a place where me and my people can live. So then he saw that the earthly planet is the actual planet where he has to live with his descendants. But the earthly planet was already submerged into the ocean. So therefore he is requesting Brahma to raise the earthly planet from the submerged to outside. So this till now this is what the conversation happened.
Because it was looking like he was talking in between like figure of God directly.
No. He's only talking to father and son.
So this is Manu is saying to Brahma.
Manu and Brahma.
Who master of demigod is this guy?
The master of demigod is Brahma.
Manu and Brahma.
Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted.
Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us.
As sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in the thinking, a small form of a bow came out of his nostril. The measurements of the creature was not more than the upper portions of the thumb.
So when Brahma was thinking how to lift the earth, then immediately one small boar came out of Brahma's nostril. Okay.
O descendant of Bharata, while Brahma was observing him, that bow became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation and gigantic as a great elephant.
Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, with great Brahmanas like Marichi as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways.
Is this some extraordinary entity came in the pretense of a boar? It is a very wonderful that he has come from my nose.
Yeah, so this is Brahma contemplating. Okay.
First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he was as large as a stone. My mind was perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu?
While Brahma was still deliberating with his son, the Supreme Person of God is Vishnu, rode sumptuously like the great mountain.
The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead enlivened Brahma and the other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions.
When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was the all-auspicious sound of the all-merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the 3 Vedas.
Yes.
Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that the devotees' prayers were meet for him.
Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks.
He was personally the first Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. Yet because he had a body he searching after the earth by smell. His stars were fearful and his glance over the devotee Brahmanas engaged in the offering prayers. Those he entered the water.
Okay.
Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and 2 high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean. which cried loudly as if prayed to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me into two. Kindly give me protection.
Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it.
Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusk and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid, then his anger glowing like the Sudarshan wheel. He immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord.
So now here Maitreya got mixed up because this is not the Hiranyaksha pastime, but somehow he got mixed up with the whole thing. He was so ecstatic that he was talking about Lord Boar that he mixed one boar with another boar.
Thereupon Lord Boar killed the demon within the water, just as a lion kills an elephant. The cheeks and tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging in the purple earth.
Then the Lord flew like an animal suspended the earth on the edge of his curved white tusk. He assumed a bluish complexions like that of the Tamalatri in those days, headed by the Brahma, could understand him to be a supreme person embodied and offered respectful obeisance to the Lord.
Okay, so now after that some prayers are there. So let us read the purports of the pastime till now, and then we will go to the prayers. Okay, please read.
Okay. The word Adritaha is significant because it indicates that Vidura had a natural inclination for hearing the transcendental message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was never fully satisfied, though continuing to hear those topics. He wanted to hear more and more so that he could be more and more blessed by the transcendental message.
Yeah, so Vidura was very eager to hear. So therefore, Maitreya was also very interested to speak. So this is a two-way communication or two-way relationship between the hearer and the speaker. So when the hearer is very interested to hear, then the speaker is very interested to speak. And here, both of them are very qualified also. Vidura is also highly qualified and Maitreya is also highly qualified. So therefore, naturally, they both have a lot of interest in discussing about the Lord and speaking with each other about the Lord. So they are very happily speaking with each other. Okay.
Not only must they hear about the activities of the Lord, but they must also hear about the transcendental qualities of the devotees who are constantly thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord within their hearts. A pure devotee of the Lord cannot be separated from the lotus feet of the Lord for even a moment.
So why should we hear about devotees? Why not only hear about the Lord?
Because the devotees are very dear to Krishna.
Okay, let them be dear to
And they are
Krishna.
empowered.
Let them be empowered. But why we should hear about them?
We also get purified and inspired by their.
Okay, we get purified.
Is it
Okay.
because they actually have the understanding by which they've already applied the knowledge, so through that we would be able to gain a deep understanding that maybe Krishna wouldn't be able to give us directly, because we would aspire to be like pure devotees.
Okay, so we aspire to be like pure, good point. We aspire to be like pure devotees, so we can get good understanding. Okay.
His pastime is always with the devotee, so it cannot be complete without his devotee.
Yes, the Lord is pastime is always devotee, so it cannot be complete without hearing about devotee. If you hear about Lord means it's hearing about devotee. Both of them are, I think you require it more than me. You can take it. I am seriously saying you can take it. The way you are looking, it looks like you are.
He tried everything, so I'll give him hero now.
Eh?
I'll give him hero after.
You take if you want to take.
No, bro, it's okay.
You take half.
Half of his good.
Half you take.
Yes,
Don't
good.
have that.
You seem to be very sick man.
He's
I
sick
can't.
from 2 days.
I can't.
Exam also.
Past 1 week.
Yeah.
You take out this glass.
Don't let.
I can't.
Two and landing.
Okay.
No.
Simple solution. Okay. Good. I am happy. So why we should hear about devotees? Yes, Prabhuji, why we should hear about devotees?
Sometimes the devotee is more potent than the Lord.
Okay, hearing about devotees is more potent than hearing about Lord. How it is more potent? Lord is the personality of Godhead.
Pure devotee only can know about the Lord very well.
Okay.
He can talk about Lord very well.
Okay.
Devotees, they never leave Lord, they always have Lord in their heart.
Okay.
And Lord himself says, my devotees are more glorified than me.
Okay.
So when we think about or talk about the devotees, we get glorified.
Okay. Any other point? Yes.
I think Prabhuji expanded on the point I was going to make was that the true devotees, they're worshipped more than the Lord, right? So if Krishna himself is saying how the pure devotees are to be worshipped more, then clearly they have certain characteristics which even the Lord is worshipping. So it gives us the impetus to then want to worship them and follow their level of understanding. If the Lord is directly telling us to worship the pure devotees more than himself.
Correct. Okay.
They're
Anything
more
else?
merciful also.
Then more. That's very important.
Like Prabhupada was more merciful.
In Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna says,
Declare it boldly.
these guys are, foolish people. Don't disturb them. Let them do what they want. In one sloka, Krishna says this. Krishna says these people are just foolish. They are engaged in their duty. A wise man should not disturb them. In the purport, what Prabhupada writes, Prabhupada says, even though the Lord says that nobody should disturb them, but devotees take all sorts of risk and go and disturb these people because they want to actually make them Krishna conscious. So the Lord is saying don't disturb them, but the devotees are going and disturbing them because they are more merciful.
Yeah.
They are going and disturbing them. And they are taking risk by disturbing them because these are foolish people. To instruct a foolish man sometimes could be very dangerous. It's not like a simple thing. So they like, Jagai and Madai, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they went on their own to instruct Jagai and Madai and they got some nice beating. So to instruct a foolish man sometimes can be very dangerous. But still, because in Kali Yuga everybody is foolish, then the devotees take risk to go and instruct foolish people. So they are more merciful than the Supreme Lord. This is a very nice point. Yes, that's why we should speak about devotees. Okay. More.
Another point, compared to Lord, is like a sea walk. We have to go and see the seaside, then you can see.
Yeah.
But a devotee is like a wind of the sea. He can come out and preach like a
Okay, it's a very nice point. So the devotees come to us. We have to go to the Lord, but devotees come to us. They are like waves of the sea. They come to us. The Lord is like the sea himself. He is only there. We have to go into the sea. But the devotees are like waves of the sea. It's a very nice point. Okay. What else?
Prabhu, we hear the song that Krishna se tumhara Krishna Deva. Krishna may not come and give. So same kind of point.
Yeah. So Krishna says, "Samar Krishna ditya pa tamara shakatya che amito kangal Krishna Krishna boli dhaita pache pache." So devotees can deliver Krishna. Krishna agrees to be delivered by devotees. Okay. There's also another important point. All these points are very nice, very, very important points. There's also another important point. Why we should hear about devotees is devotees practically live and show how to surrender to Krishna. A devotee's life is about surrender to Krishna. In various circumstances, in different type of challenging circumstances, how they surrender to Krishna. This is an important aspect of devotee's life. If you see in Bhagavatam, there are great devotees and each of them have different type of challenges. Like for example, Parikshit. What is his challenge? He is facing death. So when at the face of death, how to surrender to Krishna. This we can learn from Parikshit. Then you come to Kunti Maharani. She is a woman and she is so attached to family. One who is attached to family life, how they will surrender to Krishna. So we hear from from Kunti Maharani that how she was so firm in surrendering to Krishna, and how she was actually saying that difficulties are welcome. Vipadaha santataha saswat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshana vipsyat apunar bhavadarshana. And then we see Bhishma. We understand from Bhishma how to surrender to Krishna and act in a way which is opposite to Krishna. He is in opposite party. Bhishma is not in Krishna's party. Bhishma is in Duryodhana's party. But he is considered Mahajan. He fought against the Pandavas. How to be so surrendered to Krishna that to understand Krishna's plan so perfectly and act according to the plan. This we can actually understand from Bhishma's and how not to care for one's own glory in the process of glorifying Krishna, because so many people criticize Bhishma. That even Draupadi criticizes Bhishma. She says, what is the use of when in Shanti Parva Bhishma is talking so many things to Yudhishthira. He is giving him so many instructions about Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma, Stri Dharma, different type of Dharma, Varnashram Dharma. He is giving instruction after instruction, and Draupadi is smiling. And then everybody is asking Draupadi, why you are smiling? Then Draupadi is saying, so much of knowledge is coming out now. What happened to all this knowledge when I was being disrobed? So much of knowledge is coming out now. But what happened to all this knowledge in Duryodhana's court when I was being disrobed? Draupadi asked. So, Bhishma gets criticized by so many people. But he doesn't care for all those things. Because why? He wants to act according to Lord's plan. Lord has actually given a part for him and he wants to do that part.
He knew that Lord is playing this.
Yeah, he knew. Bhishma knew everything.
Which Parva is it from? One
Huh?
Parva. Shanti.
Shanti Parva. So, Bhishma knew. Bhishma knew Lord's plan. He knew everything. So, by reading Bhishma's life story, we can actually understand that how not to care for one's own glory in the process of glorifying the Supreme Lord. So, like that, every devotee in Bhagavatam, like if you read about Prahlad, you can understand that how to be Krishna conscious in the midst of completely opposite party. Completely unfavorable circumstance. In the middle of totally unfavorable circumstance, how still to be Krishna conscious? This we can understand by reading Prahlad's life. How to be determined in getting Krishna's mercy, this we can actually understand by reading Dhruva's pastime. Like that, different pastime, like Vritrasura's pastime. How to face death happily. This is Vritrasura's pastime. How to welcome death very happily. And how to have the right mood at the time of death. This we can learn from Vritrasura's pastime. So, in different circumstances, how to surrender to the Lord and how to remain Krishna conscious. This we can know by discussing the activities and qualities of devotees. They are practical. Their life is a practical explanation of life in devotional service. There is book Bhagavatam and then there is person Bhagavata. So Prabhupada says there are two Bhagavatam. There is book Bhagavatam and person Bhagavata. The person Bhagavata is a personification of book Bhagavatam. So therefore, knowing about devotees is very important. It's a very important topic. Okay, please read.
Devotees, however, realize the presence of the Lord, and therefore they can always see the lotus feet of the Lord within their heart. Such pure devotees of the Lord are as glorious as the Lord. They are, in fact, recommended by the Lord as more worshipable than He Himself. Worship of the devotee is more potent than the worship of the Lord. It is therefore the duty of the transcendental student to hear of pure devotee